Distinction between pillage and plunder. Both pillage and plunder refer to the taking of goods by force. What is the distinction in how the two words are used? Specifically, due to a recent argument, do pirates only plunder, or can they pillage as well?
I've always thought pillage were looting for the sake of it, maybe taking furniture for firewood, while plunder were taking by force, to sell or give to the British Museum. But stab me if me trusty Chambers doesn't define pillage as the act of plundering, plunder, and plunder as, among other things, 6 to pillage, n pillage. Truth to tell, there are so few pillagers, plunderers these days that any difference there may have been is lost. Insert mandatory financial services joke here, ha ha.
A couple of colleagues and I have been going through some Google Ngrams. At first, it seems quite conclusive that plundering is a far more seaworthy activity than pillaging, and plundering is certainly the more pirately thing to do. In an actual example, British Critic and Quarterly Theological Review, Volume 16, pages 516 to 518, they appear to use pillage and plunder interchangeably as nouns, but only plunder as a verb. This seems fitting for waterborne criminality. In this discourse of plunder, page 2, pillage is said to be something that makes up plundering. However, the further I read into the samples provided by the Google book search, it seems that pillage and plunder can be used interchangeably, it's just that plunder is a far more popular word. In fact, although it is a much rarer occurrence than pirates plundered, pirates pillaged does appear in literature. Some examples. The Pirate's Own Book. The History of the Lives and Action of the Most Famous Highwaymen. The Pocket Magazine. Belgium Historical and Picturesque. Outside of buccaneering, there is a lot of synonymous usage of plunder and pillage. Here are some examples. In a text about the history of English government, on page 94 they write, "Commercial plunder, however, was to be more destructive than military pillage." On page 554 of the New Encyclopedia, or Universal Dictionary of Arts and Sciences, they define pillage by using plunder. And later on page 687 they define plunder using pillage. There seems to be no difference in the meaning of the two words in the works of the Right Honourable Edmund Burke, Volume 7, on pages 408 and 410. Again, I find the same in the Forum, Volume 17, Plunder, Pillage. So, in conclusion, it seems that plundering and pillaging are the same thing.
The two words have different etymologies, but the same meaning. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the history of pillage is: etymology, Middle French, pillage, booty, 14th centre, action of sacking, c. 1355, pillar, pilliv, plus h suffix. Compare post-classical Latin Pelagian robbery, plundering, 1361, 1363 in British sources. It is first written in this form in the 1300s. The action or an act of plundering, sacking, or looting a place, especially in war, depredation, robbery. In early use also, extortion, unjust taxation or exaction, OBS. Also fig. The entry for plunder writes that the phrase is from Dutch or German. Either German plundern, Middle High German plundern, or its equivalents Dutch plunderen, Middle Dutch plunderen, German regional, Low German, plundern, Middle Low German plunderen, all incensed to pillage, sack, lit. To rob of household furnishings. Middle High German plundern is plunder bedclothes, clothing, household furnishings, German plunder lumber, trash, Middle Low German plunder sundries, goods, chiefly in compounds, plundern, plund household furnishings, in plural, clothes, rags, German regional, Low German, plund, of unknown origin plus a, collective suffix, cognate with Middle Low German plund is Middle Dutch plund. Household furnishings, Dutch regional, Friesland, plunje clothes, baggage. With Middle Low German plunder compare Middle Dutch plunder, Dutch plunder, household furnishings, plunderen. Swedish plunder baggage, also rags, trash, 1557, Danish plunder possessions, goods, are probably Middle Low German. So plunder was a specific kind of pillaging. It specifically referred to the robbing of household furnishings, while pillage referred to any type of sacking or looting. In use now, however, the difference is the presence of soldiers or not. Plunder refers to the roving of soldiers through recently conquered territory in search of money and goods. Pillage describes the act of stripping a conquered city or people of valuables. As pirates are not soldiers, they would now pillage, but as they are soldier-like, they could also plunder.
Pillage and plunder used as verbs have the same general meaning. As a noun, pillage means the same as the verb. In other words, it is synonymous with the act of pillaging, except when used as a category in an accounting table. Plunder as a noun generally means the thing plundered. A book of accounts may differentiate between pillage as perishables, linens and low-value household goods to be traded, used or consumed as is, and plunder defined as valuable hard goods suitable for long-term storage or barter, hard currency, or that which may be melted down. For example, a cloak or a cartload of pumpkins or so many board feet of lumber may be pillage. A gem, a silver candelabra or gold piece are examples of plunder. Cannoned musket balls and gunpowder are pillage. Cannons, pistols, rapiers and cutlasses are plunder.
Lots of good research. I had always divided the two mentally on the basis of distribution. Recall that plunder can be a noun, it can be hoarded, but the usage of pillage as a noun seems vanishingly rare. Because plunder can be saved, it is given to the institution of marauders. Pillage is what is given to / saved by the individual marauder, often on the basis of the item being a perishable good.